Well, this one surprised me, especially since it's from the studio that brought us The Notebook. Companion. Let me preference this before I go too deep into it by saying if you manage to miss any of the promotional material for this, the trailers, the posters, being 2 minutes later into this video, then I would highly recommend it. It is kind of like what I said about Abigail when I talked about it in one of my other videos, which is if you manage to get to a certain part of that movie, you would learn that it's a totally different type of movie than what it starts out. This movie is very similar in that. That's about all I can say without getting too deep. Now, I will say before you stop, I'm not going to spoil the plot lines of everything. I'm not going to go. It's not a spoiler review, but there's a pretty big part of this movie that again is spoiled by the trailer and the movie poster. That I got to bring up in this review. So if you don't want anything at all, leave. Come back after you see the movie. I recommend you go and see it. I really, really enjoyed it. All right, so I'm going to give a 5-card countdown here, and here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So if you're still here, The Companion. It's like if real dolls were Terminators. What's her name from Yellow Jackets? Sophie Thatcher. She's the lead in this movie. It was amazing. I don't know Drew Hancock, the guy that directed it, wrote it, I guess. But it does say it's from the producers of The Barbarian, which I think is hilarious since like the opening of the trailer says from the studio that brought you The Notebook. So they know what they're doing here. And every piece of this film is very on the nose. Like it shouldn't be as funny as it is, and it's not like satirical. I'm not saying that at all. It's not trying to like break the fourth wall or anything like that, or make fun of itself or other genres that do this. But the movie is genuinely funny at times. I mean, the theater I saw, there was a lot of people laughing at points that you're like, oh my god, am I supposed to be laughing at this? But basically, you got a guy and he's a control freak. And as the movie progresses, we learn to what degree of a control freak this guy is towards his girl. And again, in the beginning of the movie, it just kind of feels like it's this lovey-dovey couple going to meet some friends at this vacation house off the beaten path. And then we find out later after a murder, and that opens up the fact that the reason that this girl is so important is that she's a robot. Bee-boop. Jack Quaid's character Josh calls her Bee-boop. And again, that's one of those moments that it's like, this is fucking hilarious. That it's like, I'm sorry, Bee-boop. And just like any other pet name you would have, for your significant other kind of thing. But once you learn that she's a robot, it's fucking hilarious. Little bitty things give it away in the very beginning. Like once it's like, oh, she thanks his electric car that autonomously drove them to this. But when the reveal happens, it's a legitimate shock. Now, unfortunately, I had seen the trailer, which is what, again, made me want to go see the movie. So I don't want to say unfortunately too much. I get why the marketing has to say there's a robot in this movie, because it's the same reason why in Abigail, the trailer had to say what she was. Because it's got to get people there. And the exhibition industry is dying a slow, agonizing death. And I want to see as many people in theaters as possible, too. I love seeing movies in theaters. But Abigail and this movie just have that in common. Other than that, well, that and there is some blood and gore and some stuff like that going on in some tense situations. But I would have to say that this is my favorite movie of 2025 so far. It's the first movie I've seen in theaters this year, so. But hey, if that's where we're starting, is with a movie like Companion, then heck yeah, I might have to do the companion piece to this video and make a spoiler review. But there's another character in this film that the reveal was a big shock because it's not spoiled, you know, where their intentions are and where their background is. But it's pretty cool. It's the character from I only know him from White Lotus as like the assistant in one of the seasons, and I'm not gonna spoil White Lotus or anything like that. But Sophie Thatcher from Yellow Jackets and stuff like that, and on the glitter bikes and Book of the Boba Fett or Mandalorian season 2.5, whatever you want to call it. I didn't really recognize her from a lot of things either, but I want to see her in more stuff now because she was so badass. There's a genuine point in this movie where she's sitting on a couch in like robot mode and got like blood on her, and I'm like, what the hell? I mean, another thing's put by her on this couch. I'm really tiptoeing around spoilers here. I'm sorry, but it's fucking cool as hell. Like just that scene alone, I was like, that's awesome. My grade rating on this movie would be a solid. Enjoyed the movie. That's why I gave it the later grade again. Let me re-emphasize that you should go see this movie. This movie needs to be seen in theaters because even though it's kind of in the vein of something like Ex Machina or other robot protagonists being mistreated by humanity, it's really not about that. I think it's a whole lot more at the heart of using the female robot character who's basically a sex bot here that is being mistreated, but at the same time the only reason she's able to do the things she does in this movie is because of her mistreatment in more ways than one. So it's fucking, Huey is in this, and he's not Huey from The Boys, man, at all. Another since Scream, I mean, he's really showing how well Jack Quaid's showing, that he's not just gonna be that one note actor. I get that even in this movie, he's kind of got like a more like wimpier, geeky feel, which seems to be his niche. But he still shows a lot more brutality, I feel like, in this film than other things I've seen him in. All right, so that's my thoughts on The Companion. If you've seen it, what do you think about it? If not, what's your favorite Terminator movie, or your favorite romantic comedy, or your favorite vacation movie, or thriller, or horror movie? Because this is pretty much all of those combined. I think, yeah. Let's do the list thing in the comments, and I'll see you guys soon. I'm still working on a catchphrase, but I'm gonna catch one. I catch something. All right. Okay. I'm leaving. Bye.